Assalamu alaikum. Today I'm going to be talking about the Turkish blind painter named Eşref Arman. He's a self-taught artist. He has no educational background whatsoever, and he's received a lot of international recognition for his artistic achievements. He was born blind, so it's all he's known, it's all he will ever know, and he's completely blind. He can't even see light. It's complete darkness for him. And when he was younger, he never imagined, or even just throughout life, he never really imagined that he would become a painter. He just wanted to be able to study the world and learn it in great detail. And he was able to do that through painting, but it was never a goal of his to become a painter. What did set off his artistic journey, though, was when he was younger, he asked his dad to help draw him a butterfly. And one of the techniques that Eşref developed was nailing a piece of newspaper or a soft material to a piece of cardboard and using a nail or like a blunt pencil and drawing on the cardboard with it. And he would follow the movement with his fingers, and then after he would feel it just with his fingers. And that's how he learned the different shapes and how to draw. So when his dad was teaching him how to draw a butterfly, he drew the butterfly on the cardboard, and Eşref would feel the shape, and he was able to recreate it just by feeling the shape of it. And it was to the point where he could show other people his drawing of the butterfly, and it looked like a good drawing of a butterfly. So that's, for me, that's very impressive. So that was one of the things that like really helped start his artistic journey. He learned how to like color by having his dad set his color pencils in a specific order, and he was able to memorize the order. He'd know, oh, the fifth one is blue or whatever, and that's how he would color. And that was so he wouldn't be dependent on anyone. He could do it himself. He didn't have to worry about bothering his dad about getting him a different colored pencil. He learned about perspective through a professor at a university in Istanbul. It was a quick, like, 30-minute thing. He says it's the only education he's gotten, so to speak. He only got the one 30-minute lesson. But the professor used his technique of the cardboard and was able to teach him about perspective by tracing it into the cardboard, making him feel over it, and explaining the concept to him. So one of the concepts when learning about perspective in art is a road, which is like you draw it like this, because the closer it is to you, the larger it looks, the farther, the smaller it looks. So he was explaining it's like an A without the middle piece, and you're going really fast on the road. That's how the road looks. So that's how he explained perspective to Eşref. Another technique he would do is he would dip string in glue and attach it to a canvas, which is like a normal art category or technique. I don't know the right way to explain it. It is something that's very popular. So it was interesting to see him not create, but utilize it when he didn't really know about it. And then he would paint it over with his fingers. So what he would do is he would take the colors, he would paint it section by section, and he would have to wash his hands in between every time, otherwise the colors would get muddled and not the way he wanted it to be. He did suffer through poverty because once his dad passed away from cancer, he was left alone, and he had like no food, he had one shirt. It was a very rough time for him. Please excuse my cat. So what he did is he decided to start selling his paintings, and eventually he did get an invitation from the Czech Republic for a festival for visually impaired artists. And that's where he met his current manager, Joan. Well, he didn't meet her there, but because of the event, he needed a translator because he didn't know English, he only knows Turkish. But Joan knows Turkish and English, so that's how he met Joan. That's who became his manager, and she's been by his side ever since, essentially. Over time, he ended up getting offers to come onto like TV stations, and exhibits were requesting him, and Joan had connections in the US, so they were able to do an exhibit in New York, and that was his first international exhibit. his manager is what made him more serious about painting and art and make him feel more professional about it, because then she would give him new materials to work with. Like, she gave him acrylic paint and he learned how to work with that and all types of different materials, and like talking with him about his ideas and everything, and that made him feel more professional about it. And the one thing about him is he doesn't give up. If he fails at something, he keeps trying until he gets it, which is a very important thing in art. Art is very frustrating, so having this ideal for him is a very important thing. He ended up participating in a study at Harvard, and that was when his popularity skyrocketed completely. And it ended up to the point where like he would be, I don't want to say conventions, but for the sake of this, we'll just call it convention. And it was other blind people came, and they were artists in some way, where either they knew how to do like sculptures or something like that, but he was able to teach them how to draw, even if it was as simple as like a square or a triangle. He would trace it, he would show them, he would guide them, and they would be able to do it. And so what he ended up doing, he wanted to help other blind kids draw and discover the world the same way he did. And he was able to do that for a few kids, and they were able to draw. And it's like such a fascinating thing for me, being someone who's really interested in art and used to take art seriously for like half her life. It's very interesting seeing his methods and seeing the way he was able to utilize it, especially when it's not like he had vision in the beginning and then lost it. He had no vision at all and is able to make such amazing, incredible pieces of work. And it's very inspiring, and it is something that, one, the art community needs to see that it is possible, because his biggest critics were other blind people or other artists saying art is a visual subject, but he was able to show that it's not a visual subject. It was something tactile that he was able to create based off of feeling, literally, but also like mental feeling. So it's just incredibly fascinating.